So as I promised you, as important details arose in the Trump assassination attempt, I would bring them to you. The Beaver County Emergency Services Unit has released a video, and Chuck Grassley has now released it to us. Now, I wish I could show you everything in the video, but YouTube rules simply don't allow it. But it's not what you see in the video that's important. It's the words that are spoken from what appears to be those emergency services unit and a Secret Service officer. And we get some new information, some new details that, again, continues to get this picture more black and white. And that is the story I'm going to bring you here in just 1 minute. Okay, my friends, before we get there, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do. Even if you think you're subscribed, double check. You know your means of supporting me. I've told you aren't here. They're actually at Restricted Republic. Love you, have you here. Thank you for joining me. If you want to join as a member, you always can. Your support and shares are always appreciated, and those extra additional dollars you give, man, I can't tell you how much it means to this broadcast. But if you want something more, you want me to give you more, that's restrictedrepublic.com. And that's where Lisa Haven and I, our platform, we created. No commercials, no sponsors, no interruptions, beholden to no one, because the only money that built that platform came out of our own pockets. Guess what that allows? True freedom of press. Something you don't get anymore. That's why we can put content up there that can't be put up anywhere else. Exclusive content. Right now, to enjoy it, use discount code INDEPENDENCE and monthly checkout, $4 a month for 2 years. And the beauty of that is you can cancel anytime. That's how much confidence we have in our platform with information we provide, with receipts, with evidence, that once you're there, you'll go nowhere else for your news that matters. RestrictedRepublic.com, discount code INDEPENDENCE, monthly checkout, $4 a month for 2 years plus 14 days for free. Get there today. That offer won't last very long. But now, let's get back to this broadcast. So as I promised you, there are things I can show and there are things I can't show. But it is the words that are said within this video that are the most important, by far, hands down. So I'll blur out the screen because I want to adhere to all the rules I have to adhere to. And honestly, the images don't make any difference. It's what is said while the body is still on the roof. This is, at the time, a real-time recording. A completely different set of evidence. This video should go absolutely viral because of what you hear. And there's 3 primary points, and I'm going to cover them one by one as we walk through this video.
All right, so we don't know. So this is the guy that
yes, that they sent yes, Beaver County sniper scene and sent the pictures out. This is him.
Okay. All right.
Rifle's right there, obviously.
Got it. So the bike in the back, is he on that bike?
We don't know.
We don't know. So
I
we're
don't
just
know.
treating that as suspicious device.
Oh, 1 second. I believe the sniper that seen these and sent the pictures is right inside this building. Michelle, is Greg in there? All right, so if you go to that window that's open and yell for Greg, that's the sniper that sent the original pictures and seen him come from the bike and set the book back down and then lost sight of him.
Okay.
So there you have it. Confirmation that he was seen long before anybody did anything about it. Now you have verification, which we knew existed, but it's amazing to hear it. And again, Thomas Crooks is lying there. This is as quick a footage as I have seen thus far. It appears to be local law enforcement that is helping the Secret Service agent to answer some questions based on the little emblem on his vest. But we're going to go forward because it reveals a lot more. It reveals all about that bike. You heard that the Secret Service officer had seen what was alleged to be, not sure if it was his bike, but they're stating that he followed him until he got off the bike and then lost track of him. So now we have, paints a whole different story, right? Now we have a car, we have a van, and we have a bike. Now we have 3 vehicles. All this will come into focus as we get further into video quickly.
1 second. I believe the sniper that seen these and sent the pictures is right inside this building. Michelle, is Greg in there? All right, so if you go to that window that's open and yell for Greg, that's the sniper that sent the original pictures and seen him come from the bike and set the book back down and then lost sight of him.
Okay.
He's the one that sent the pictures out. I don't know if you got the same ones I did.
I think I did, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to recoil that video just a touch, and the reason being was the key phrase within that video to me was the sniper in those open windows is the one who took the picture, open windows pointing there right to them. This I can go larger screen for you because there is no sensitive information in it. And again, the windows that I pointed to you that overlook the roof where Thomas Crooks was at. Now, perspective-wise, it's slightly different because now they are actually hovering directly over him. But these were sniper teams. That is no distance at all. They can hit that with a handgun. And the pictures taken now go to reinforce exactly where I told you the pictures were taken and exactly where he was standing and where the officer was positioned. Two pictures coming out now. Just going to remind you where I showed you where the shooter was, where I showed you where the wall was, more than likely sitting right here that he was on, now verified, where Trump was located approximately with the stage. Shooter was here. Zooming down, I told you this would be the wall that the pictures were taken from, and the officers were either here or here looking down, and now that's all verified by that picture. One on the left we had, one on the right goes to reconfirm it because you're looking now at the physical windowsill. I told you this video frames in more than most realize or are discussing. So let's move on a little further.
And we have somebody detained, correct?
That I don't know.
That is just a bombshell statement. We have someone detained. Not talking about Thomas Crooks on the roof. We have someone detained. Boy, nice for Miss Kimberly Cheadle to report any of this, right? No, of course not. Oh, there'll be a lot more questions for her seeing she perjured herself yesterday, but I digress. We'll continue on with this video. There's a little bit more I want you to listen to first.
Our guy that was just up here told me that there's a guy detained who's the owner of the bike. And I said, no, I think that's the owner of the bike.
Yeah, basically when I got
We've been up here, so we wouldn't know that information.
We just hauled ass. We got over here.
Right, got it.
And we hopped up
No,
over it.
yeah, that's no problem. Is that all your stuff?
that was one of our
Yeah, so someone came up looking to treat him and this record.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to stop it there for a moment. Okay, we just hauled ass. So you may have local law enforcement, may have special ops teams or security detail, all saying, wait, I thought the bike was the guy who we have in custody. Secret Service officer saying, no, I thought it was Thomas Crook's bike. See the misinformation you've been fed. The bike now becoming suddenly more relevant. The suspect on the bike allegedly in custody according to this footage as it's framing in. Of course, now we learn also that on the roof was supposed to be an agent, but because of the heat, well, they didn't make it. Almost had fatal consequences. Did have fatal consequences for the audience now, didn't it? But you see, it could have always been more black and white, but they just don't want to give you the information. You see the infamous water tower in the background. They're going to reference that in a moment.
I talked to the guy. Those people detained were filming.
American Water was notified. They authorized.
Maybe they were involved. Maybe they weren't.
Will start somebody.
Other than that, I haven't heard anybody
Well, I
else.
think it's
Nothing. Close out the line today.
the guys that saw them filming were like, oh, they were filming us, and then filming the guy up on the roof, and then filming us, and then when the shots started firing, they like tried to run away. It was like, isn't that what everybody would do that has a phone? You know, I'm not saying they weren't involved, but you know what I mean? Like that.
It's up in the air right now.
I hope nobody makes more out of that than there needs to be. It's a pretty simple statement. There was people filming the roof, then filming the agents, then filming the roof. When shots began to ring out, ran. We watched that. We watched that in real time. Yes, people were filming the shooter on the roof. Then they were coming down, wondering what the agents were doing, filming the roof, shots fired. Natural reaction is to take cover. So those suspects in custody, not particular interest to me. To suspect on the bike, that's new information. But then you hear the officers, which many of you question this part of the narrative. I want you to listen in here for a moment.
Where your
Fox
defeat?
Delaware 1, Commander. We have access to a drone. Clear this water tower.
Any LE?
I hope you heard that. Does anyone have a drone to help clear this water tower? Not saying there's anyone on it. You know, I've been a little bit against that narrative thus far. As more evidence arrives, though, I can change my opinion at any moment in time. I base on hard facts at all times. Always. That's my service to this audience. Not going to go spew stuff just simply to get clicks that isn't true. But nonetheless, you hear there the police call for a drone to clear the water tower. So I didn't want you to miss that. Didn't want anybody to say that I didn't call that out within the video.
In the van. Did he survive? Copy.
Interesting statement there that we got to get a little bit more color on. In the van. I've referred to the van. I've showed you the van. We've talked about the van. Initial reports. Police combed through Matthew Crook's van. Found explosive devices in his van. Now we hear he has a bike. On top of that, the Hyundai Sonata with explosive devices in the Hyundai Sonata. Man, this kid had a whole garage full of stuff, didn't he? Man, he drove all this up. He had a car, but he needed a bike. Maybe that was just to drive around the grounds. Maybe that was to carry his drone. Maybe that was to fly it right over to Secret Service with nobody doing anything about it. But yet we saw him walking around the building. It gets confusing with Thomas Crooks. Man, he had a lot of assets around him. A lot of ways to tread around with no one stopping him. Pictures being taken. But nonetheless, you heard it there. The van. Did the man make it? Did the man make it? Another suspect in custody. This grays up more than it actually makes black and white. This was something that I didn't expect out of the video. I expected a little bit more substance. They could be commingling conversations, talking about the audience member who passed, talking about the injuries in the audience. We do know they said another suspect was in custody. We've heard nothing about that. Maybe related to the bike, have heard nothing about that. Multiple other people apprehended, but I think the Secret Service officer gives an adequate explanation as to why. They'll be released. Clear the water tower. And a man, is he still alive in the van? Interesting statement. I've told you that I will keep my eye on this van story as long as I can, because of course, if there's an ongoing investigation, and they have another person of interest, which we've now found out, according to the police officers on the site, there was multiple people of interest, 3 at least, of interest. That was in testimony yesterday. Amazing, isn't it? All these people of interest, nobody doing anything about it. All standing down. Whistleblower, as I just reported, coming out and saying that Director Cheadle's public statements about the safety of the sloped roof. On one whistleblower with direct knowledge of Secret Service planning for the event alleges that there was supposed to be a law enforcement presence on the roof that day. In fact, the whistleblower alleges that at least one individual was specifically assigned to the roof, but this person abandoned his or her post due to hot weather and jeopardized the life of Donald J. Trump, who's now being told, by the way, rather than us giving you the proper security detail to show that we are a safe United States of America, we would just like you to stop outdoor rallies. I know your audiences are too big for most areas, any internal, because the gymnasium simply wouldn't hold the amount of people interested in seeing you or care about you. That works for Biden because he just needs a really small auditorium. But for you, because you attract so many people, we'd like you to stop all the outdoor rallies that actually make it possible for you to reach as many people as possible in as many areas as possible as quickly as possible. So, not that that would be interfering in your campaign, but it would be interfering in your campaign. My friends, as more details come out, I'll bring them to you. Facts only here. I love when you disagree with me down below. That's great. I want you to continue to do that. We're not to agree because none of us have all the information yet. But when we do, man, I'll shake your hand if you're right. I hope you'll shake mine if I am as we get close. Our odds are way up there, though. Our percentages have been great, and we will continue to investigate every day to assure we comb out the most black and white details we can. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justus Knight, signing out.